you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome everyone, it is Bulldog back with another alluvial guide. I've already done a video talking about how to efficiently harvest in the overworld, how to get the most out of your fuel, out of your energy. If you missed that video, I will flash it up on the screen here. But one thing I did not go into detail and talk about in that video is which consumables should you be targeting, which are the most valuable, and how can you actually find these consumables, which consumables go with which plant in the overworld. So that is what we are going to go through here today. Going to try and keep it as brief and simple as possible. There are 9 consumables that you can find out in the Illuvium overworld right now, and there's kind of 2 different categories. So 7 of them aid you in battle, make your alluvial stronger, and 2 of them are used well, let's just talk about those 2 right here. The first one is the rare Ringnut. The rare Ringnut restores 40 alluvial integrity instantly. You can use this, you can actually use it during combat, you can use it outside of combat as well. I can actually apply it right here. If we see our team down here at the bottom, there's this blue bar. That is the alluvial's integrity. Once it drops far enough, you will see a warning that they are losing stats in battle, and eventually you can't use them at all. They lose this integrity as they take damage in battle. If I take my Ringnut here and just drag it over, you can see that is restored. Probably didn't need to use the rare one. Probably was a little bit of overkill there, but you get the point. This is not a sexy consumable, but it's a necessary consumable. Definitely one you should be picking up as you go through your harvest runs. The other one that does not increase battle stats is the Flintcap, which gives your alluvials 100%. It says 100% XP bonus. This is going to help them level up faster. Right now, I don't know if it's bugged or if it's misworded. It actually gives more XP. It's closer to 200% of an XP bonus. So I think that's pretty straightforward, right? It helps you level up your alluvials faster. That is a very good thing. It's going to cost less energy, cost less fuel, which has value in order to level up your alluvial. So both of those are valuable ones to pick up. So now let's look at the other 7. As far as enhancing battle stats, which are my favorites? We're gonna go through them all, but probably my favorite is the Gumbo drops. The Gumbo drops are going to grant 80 attack damage and 60 attack speed. These are very, very good stats, especially for alluvials that rely on the auto attacks, like your fighters, for example. It's going to tremendously boost their damage, and it's just a massive damage increase. A very, very good consumable that we have right here. One of my other favorites is actually for a tank. So we've got this rare Floraball here. There are 2 for tanks that are actually very, very good. The rare Floraball is going to increase max health and your resistances, your physical and energy resistance. These are very good stat boosts to apply to your tanks and allow them to absorb a lot more damage. Works very well if you also have a healer that can then heal that up. And every point of health is worth more if you have more resistance, so it makes your healers more efficient as well. If you don't have a healer though, or you already have a tank that has a lot of good defensive stats, I really like this rare fruit basket. This is going to heal for 5% of maximum health per second. That is a pretty good heal. You can put this on an alluvial that already has a ton of defensive stats, and that can act as your heal. That can act in place of a healer. You might not even need to bring a healer in, or you can augment that, put your healer someplace else. This can really allow some of the top tanks in the game to stay alive for a long time. This can be a huge heal. Probably one of my other favorites as we start to go down the line. One of the other ones, maybe not my favorite, but another one that I use a lot of are these Jellyfruit Tendrils. These are going to grant Omega Power and Energy Regen. The place that I like to use these for, I like to put these on my healers, on my support alluvials. Most of the time, their heal is based on Omega Power. So that's going to increase their heal, and the extra energy regen is going to allow them to use that more often. It can also be good on your damage dealers, like your Scions, where a lot of their damage output is based on their Omega. So by increasing that Omega Power, increases that damage, allows them to use it more. So it can definitely give a pretty large increase in damage to those alluvials. I kind of like the rare Gumbo drop better as far as increasing damage output. So if we're going after increased damage, I would rather go for this one. But the Jellyfruit Tendrils can be a better option on some alluvials. There are a couple other ways to increase your damage. You have the rare dragon egg. So unlike the others that increase the damage the alluvials do, this rare dragon egg is just going to increase, or is going to give out pure damage per second to enemies in a medium area. The alluvial doesn't even have to have an attack. It doesn't matter if they're a high damage dealer, whatever the case is. You can put this, especially on an alluvial that's going to be around a lot of enemies. So maybe you've got a tank that is strong enough, you don't necessarily need to buff it up with your heal, with your Floraball. Maybe you've already got a good tank, you've already got a good healer to keep it alive, you're not worried about it dying. Throw that rare dragon egg on it, and all those alluvials that are around it, especially if they're fighter alluvials, if they're close range alluvials, and they're getting up close to that tank, and then that tank's just spitting out extra damage, and that can be a very nice source of damage, especially if they're surrounded by a lot of alluvials. You have a kind of a similar thing with your rare pop spore. This gains thorns, so this is going to dish out damage to alluvials that they're attacking your alluvial that has thorns. So the dragon egg, they just have to be around it. The pop spore, they have to be attacking that alluvial. So again, you can use it kind of in that same way that I just mentioned of putting it on a tank that's getting targeted, and it'll allow you to dish out some extra damage. Typically, I am going with supporting my tank with extra stats to keep it alive. That tends to be my approach, but these are alternative approaches that can absolutely work. But that's why I like the fruit basket, the Floraball a little better. I prioritize those when I'm searching through the overworld. Probably the one I use the least is the rare spike juice. It's going to give Omnivamp, which what that does is when an alluvial uses its Omega ability, it's going to steal some of that health and gain it for itself. It's going to heal itself back up based on the amount of damage done. So this can be a good option when it's put on alluvials that do a lot of damage with their Omega, especially those that might deal AoE damage. A lot of times the total damage output for AoE is higher than your single target, so that can allow them to heal back up. In certain situations, with certain alluvials, this rare spike juice the spike juice in general can be very, 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 very effective. It's probably my least favorite, but it doesn't necessarily make it bad. It's just a little more niche. I don't quite use it as much, so I'm not looking for that one quite as much. And I mentioned rare. There are different tiers. Just so you can see them all, I sorted by rare. This just depends on where you're finding them in the overworld. So you can find your uncommon ones, you can find your commons in the lower stages. They all do the exact same thing. They work the exact same way. It's just the power of them. That's the only thing that changes. So obviously you want to find the more powerful ones if you can. That's just based on which stage you're farming. You're more likely to find those. So hopefully this helps. Very quick rundown. Use this guide to find out which ones you're farming. Based on your team, based on your own play style, choose the ones that you like. But I've kind of gone through I've gone through all of them, told you my favorites. I hope it works. If you guys like these quick video breakdowns, somewhat quick. For my video, it was pretty quick. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. The more engagement I get with these types of videos tells me you guys like these. I need to do more of them. Hope you guys like it. I'll see you in Illuvium. I'm having a blast. We're not too far away from launch. Launch is less than a month away on the mainnet. This is going to be crazy. I can't wait. I've got to get up a bunch more of these guides. We're going to be on stream too. I know you guys want a Darth Squirrel. Come to my live streams, pick up a Darth Squirrel. I'll see you there.